First of all, it's lovely to be on the show, but it's really lovely to be on your show because you and I have spoken since really you began to stick your toe in the water in this world.
Yep.
And now you've become like this unstoppable social media machine. So bravo to you, sir. Good job.
Thank you.
What I decided to do, and my wife is a very big part of this story as well, but what we decided to do was I said to her, look, I don't want to do it the same as everyone else. I want to do it under our own volition. Yep. I want to create stuff from the ground up. I don't want to use templates and nonsense and vanilla this and vanilla that. I said, let's just create our own kind of edgy, music flavored identity and launch it. And if it fails, it fails. I don't really care.
Yeah. And
we launched it. And I mean, in fairness, I tried it their way. I think I wore a suit a couple of times, Paul.
Oh, no.
Which was awful. And it just didn't work for me. So I said, I need to do this my way or not do it at all. And so we did it. We launched it. Nobody else was doing it at that time. And my career absolutely took off.
Yeah.
Really good topic. Like, I know real estate can be a bit like, a bit boring in a way. Like people go, oh yeah, just sell a house and present your house and whatever. But I think this topic is the most important because owners get too involved in it in a way.
Yeah.
They get too close. So first one, pricing. Pricing your house is going to be the make or break of the whole exercise. It's like a deal breaker in your marriage, same thing. It's a deal breaker in the process. And it's a very hard thing for owners to separate agents because they can't see what an agent's like when they're interviewing them all. They all seem like nice people, all of them.
Yeah.
Well, unless they're just knuckleheads and they walk in and but they're all nice people. It's not nice you're looking for. You're looking for transparent and factual first. That's what I would say. So if they're pricing a home, I reckon one of the reasons Purple Bricks has left this country is because every property that I took over from Purple Bricks was priced too high. And it not only, that's like an agent might sound enthusiastic about price, but why are they saying this price? It's fine for an agent to say, I think your home's worth $650,000, but show me why it's worth $650,000.
Exactly.
An owner, when they're interviewing agents, they're doing exactly that. They're interviewing. It's like a job process. It's not about, oh, does your son play for the same football team? And I know your niece's boyfriend's father, so you just sell my house because we've got some sort of common bond. Forget all that. Show me how you're going to price my home and show me why it's worth that amount. And then show me your strategy around extracting the best price out of the market. Take your emotion out of it and put your logical head on first. That's what I would say.
Where are we today, Mari?
We're at Rise and Grind Cafe on East Avenue in Clarence Park.
And this used to be a video store, and we really love how a lot of the shops in the area in the inner south have been converted into cafes and places where the local community can meet.
Dave, who's I believe, the superstar manager of this shop.
Yep.
That's what Iggy tells me anyway.
Yep.
Now, just for the record, Iggy is the owner, and he's too scared to come on camera, isn't he?
That is true.
He's a chicken.
Yes.
So, just a quick look. It's our local cafe. We live in the area, and you have lots of people coming through that live in the area.
Yep.
Is that something that's really strong with this shop, with the community?
Yeah. We have so many regulars. We pretty much know everyone by name.
And that's brilliant, isn't it? So
yeah.
It's nice to be able to go into a coffee shop and just say, hey, Bill or Fred or Paul, here's your coffee, or Mari.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the back. You've got an area where people can bring their dogs.
Yeah, or cats. We have a customer that brings their cat.
And the cats.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been here? How long's the business been here?
About 5 years.
Yep.
It started off as kind of my coffee shop.
Right.
And then it changed hands to Iggy in October 2015.
Yep. And Iggy's been, so that's about 4 years that he's been here?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember when this was a video shop.
Yeah, and a butcher's.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? And that's really good about the local sort of inner south. A lot of those old stores, corner stores, butcher shops have been converted.
Yeah.
And it's really good, and you've got some bit of competition down the road, but that's good for the street, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it brings people, we've got Winston Avenue, East Avenue, there's this sort of 2 or 3 kilometre strip, there's so many options, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there's like 6 cafes along here.
It's fantastic. So you could just about do a different one every day. You want them to come here every day, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a really, that draws people to the area too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been in here having lots of coffees. Mari's on about her 4th coffee. She loves it. And you guys do a great job, so thanks for showing us around today.
No problem.
And dated into the 21st century. So
well, you're in the perfect city for that.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. I drive through the streets and think, I would love to get my hands on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So basically I put together renovation plans. Like you said before, it can be as little or as much as you want, but generally I like to work on a whole house renovation plan from front to back. And I mean, you don't need to do all the renovations at once. I understand that people have budgets and it might be a 10-year plan, but it's really important to look at the whole picture from the beginning so that you create...
So you're tying it all together.
Yeah, it's a nice cohesive finish. Yeah. Even if it takes 10 years, it looks like the front and the back.
So you're not ending up with like an Egyptian theme in your lounge room and something else over here.
That's right. Yeah.
So some continuity there.
Yep.
Use pieces that you have.
Yep.
And add accessories like cushions or throws or lamps or artwork.
Yeah.
And
makes a big
it really
difference,
makes
doesn't
a difference.
it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think first of all, declutter as much as you can.
We say that all the time, but it's so important.
It is a cliche, but you have to do it. And remember that the way you sell your home and you present your home for sale is not how you live in your home. And that's sometimes hard for people to get their head around, isn't it?
It is too. And it's sometimes hard for people to do, especially if they have children.
Yeah, and pets. And
that's right. So
like we do.
It can be difficult.
Yeah.
But by just on the days of the opens or the photography when you're having your photos taken, just bring out those few key accessories and pop them onto your lounge or onto your bed. And it makes a difference.
Yeah, because they can be stored in the wardrobe when the opens aren't on and after photos are done, and bring them out so they haven't got dog prints and kid prints all over them.
What we're seeing agents who are really good at taking their offline interactions online is...
so just on that, for the consumer, offline is people they meet in the street, at cafes, people they're dealing with in real life.
100%. So an agent might meet someone, say for example, at an open home.
Yep.
They go to that open home, they realise that this home isn't for them. They can quite easily say, hey Bob, I'll add you on Instagram. If you add me back, you'll see a lot of properties on my stories, and I do a lot of stories about properties before they go to market. All you need to do is send me a DM.
You walk through,
and I'll take you through the home.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really about just letting people know that, hey, you can add me back. I'm not adding you because I'm some creepy guy and I want to
just going to bug you.
Yeah, it's just about letting them know that you show a lot of property before it even goes to market through there. So we've got a lot of agents that we work with that do that and sell a lot of stuff off market. So we've got an example of someone over in Melbourne. They just listed a property that had been on the market for 3 months with another agent. The owner had spent, I think, $5,000 or $6,000 in advertising.
Which is easy to do.
Yep, no offers, no result, nothing.
Yeah.
They went through with their photographer and got some beautiful photos of the home. While the agent was there, he did a couple of stories on his Instagram and said, DM me if you're thinking, if you like this home and you want to see it. He had a couple of people DM and took them through the property, negotiated a sale price of like 1.87 million for the property.
Yeah.
And there was no advertising on it.
So they've taken the photos and actually haven't even got out there in the public.
Yeah, but what the agent had done was he'd been having this conversation with people over and over and over for the last 2 years about he's going to add them. So for him, it's almost like a natural thing where you used to say to people, give me your email address.
Yes.
He's saying, I'm just going to add you on Instagram, what's your handle?
So they're not relying on realestate.com or Domain, which are still very valuable tools, but they're not relying on them to source for people to come to them. They're actually providing value to people looking in their areas.
Correct.
To say, we will keep you up to date.
Yeah.
We're not going to bug you on the phone all the time.
That's right.
But you'll be able to see what we've got. And that's a challenge us as agents have these days, because you know the old thing of calling people back after open inspections. So much harder now to make an actual connection to people.
Yeah.
People don't answer their phone.
Correct.
They don't know the number, they won't answer the phone. But on social,
you know, they're watching TV, or they're not watching TV really, they're sitting in front of the telly looking at their phones, scrolling through, and then they can see, you know, if you're a client or a seller, they can see your property, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever they are. So that's a terrific way to do it. It's my great pleasure to be joined by one of my childhood heroes, McWilliam Team.
Hello, Paul.
How are you, mate?
I didn't know that.
You were. I used to love you, Merv. I'm a Mildura boy, so we grew up on Richmond.
I know.
Dale Waitman. I played cricket with the Waitman boys.
Yeah. What about the General?
The General was
any affiliation there?
I dated the General's cousin for a little while. So yes, there's a bit of affiliation, but the General's a bit older than me.
That would be dangerous territory.
Well, he'd gone to Melbourne by that stage. I didn't have to worry about the General.
You were safe.
So Merv, if you don't know who Merv is, Merv's a champion footballer in his own right. He's a 3-time premiership player for the Richmond Tigers, AFL Life member. You're also a Team of the Century man for Richmond, aren't you?
Oh, mate, I've got awards all over the place.
I know,
you know.
but
anyway,
gunplay. But the way I connected with Merv was I played at Sturt for 4 years, and Merv was my first coach here, and first of 4 coaches in 4 years, Merv. And I know a few of the boys had a few more coaches than that, but Merv and I had a great mate, Scott Field, who was a Sturt player and a really accomplished guy that we didn't really know a lot about his accomplishments until unfortunately after his death.
Exactly, yep. We learned more after his death.
Absolutely, and at his funeral, Merv, I think we all left there thinking, we really didn't know Scotty.
No, we knew little bits and pieces. Everyone knew, you know, a bit here and a bit there, and the people that knew him in the United States or in the Middle East knew him, but they didn't know anything about him in Australia.
No, they didn't know his history as a footballer, and you know, and he was a great player. You know, he wasn't just making up the numbers. Scotty was a really best and fairest winner. He was an inaugural trained with the Crows squad, so he's a really good player, Scotty. But he went on to do amazing things around the world, and Merv has written a book. It's called Playing with the Field.
The story of Scott Field.
The story of Scotty Field, and we're here at the launch of that book tonight at the Sturt Football Club, and I'll put a link, I'll get from Merv later, I'll get a link for where we can find the book if you're interested in the book. You're a fixture on the block, Damien. How many times have you been on that?
Yeah, I've been on it a few times, Paul. I won it 5 times, so I'm hoping to win it my 6th time this year.
That's not a bad effort. So that's a big effort being on there, and obviously you know the auction game inside and out because that's what you do.
Yep.
For those of our clients out there in a slightly tougher market and sitting on the fence between auction and maybe just for sale, what would you say to those guys?
Yeah, it's really interesting. When the market softens and clearance rates aren't as high, a lot of people tend to ask the question, is auction the best way to sell my home?
Yep.
I think that you need to strip it all back and say, what is auction all about? Essentially, it's a marketing strategy that we use to get the best price for the owner in the shortest period of time, but also doing it in a really transparent way for the purchaser to buy. And I think that's often underestimated, the transparency in auction.
So there's a real benefit there for the purchaser, not just the vendor.
Oh, absolutely, and I think any vendor who's thinking about selling via private treaty versus auction, when you're thinking about clearance rates, think about, well, what's the private treaty clearance rate for 28 days on the market? And that's really what we're talking about, is selling a property within 28 days, which is the most effective marketing time frame to get the best result.
So not everyone's always comparing apples with apples, are they, when they're talking private treaty and auction?
Yeah, absolutely. The other benefit of auction is that you remove price as a barrier and you give buyers the opportunity to pay a price that they see value in the property at. And they're not ruling out properties they can't afford. They're attending open for inspections for properties that they want to buy.
Oops, that's better. In today's mobile digital world, your property needs to stand out from the crowd to get the buyer's attention.
The way that we generally try to do it is, the very best thing is just to sit down first of all and just talk through, not just I want a new kitchen, I want a new bathroom. Talk through the current kitchen we've got isn't working because, and the current bathroom isn't working because. Work out what that step of how are we changing our lives can be. And I will certainly help to actually ask the questions that will get people to actually really think about it from those different perspectives. What we then do is put together the start of a brief and then sit down and go back and talk them through that again. But this is what you said. Does this sound right? Does this make sense? What we also do is we've got a Pinterest profile, a house profile, a visual media that people can go and look at as many pictures as they want. To
try to capture images of what they've kind of got in their head, and they can explain it to me. But there's always that dislocation, that filter of, if they can show me a picture, I want that.
Yeah.
Well, great, we'll put that there. We've got a list of words and we've got a list of pictures.
Yeah.
That really then starts to formulate the idea of what are we working towards.
Yeah. And so that all gets back to that communication.
Very much so.
So they're interacting with you, they're interacting with some tools and some stuff that you can point them in the right direction to say, maybe check out these things.
Definitely.
Because it is ever changing. I mean, I said, talking to KAYLA last week, there's always new products, there's always new trends coming on. And you know, the TV shows don't always help because they're not necessarily the best of what is happening at the moment. You know?
They're great for inspiration, but they're not great at actually understanding your family and what is going to work for your family.
Correct.
Thank you, it was fun.